Hi there. This week's prompt is called Green Smoothie. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes and we will get started. I'm just going to start with scribbles like I usually do. So it's called Green Smoothie, but the colors, if you've seen them, are very tropical. And so I kept thinking about a palm tree. And so that's what I'm going for this week, just an abstract palm tree, tropical kind of feel. I just used a Derwent Ink Tense pencil. They are really fun to work with because you can put water on them, see it like this, and it makes it like watercolor. So you can spread the color around like watercolor, but you don't have to use watercolor paint. So it's kind of a fun way to add that effect to paintings without having to get your watercolor paints out. I'm also using some acrylic ink. This is Amsterdam acrylic ink. It is so dark and highly pigmented. They're super fun to work with. If you want to see more of me using that, look, at this spreads around like watercolor also. So fun. My 30-day mark making prompts and the Explore Mark Making Challenge both use acrylic ink. I had acrylic ink on my palette, and for 30 days I created various mark making sheets with the prompt for that day. And so if you're interested in acrylic ink, check those out. The links are in the description below. This pink pen is a jelly roll pen made by Sakura. I think that's how you say it. Sakura? I don't know. Anyway, it was a big pack of pens that I got from them, and I love using them to add in these first marks, and sometimes I will add them towards the end too, just for some extra little fun details. But you can see I'm staying pretty loose, and you can tell that my palm tree is to the side, but it is still very abstract. So these were some of my greens. There's the lime green in that palette. That was so fun to make. I used some cadmium yellow light, and I believe it was my cerulean blue to get this amazing shade of lime green, which I don't paint with all the time, but it felt really fun to use today. So just adding some different colors to those leaves. I guess that's what you call them, right? Or fronds, palm tree fronds. Adding them to the fronds of the palm tree, adding some different color. Some more colors to the leaves with the yellow ochre. So you can tell I'm going pretty fast. I only have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So you have to move fast or you don't have time to get much done at all. But I love this challenge because it helps me stop thinking so much and it just lets me paint. And I go kind of based on the marks that I've already made. I'm looking for light and dark areas. I'm looking for different size shapes of things. Like if I have a really long brush stroke, then I'll add shorter brush strokes or marks next to it. I'm looking for shifts in color because I love having lots of different colors in one spot, even if they're very subtle shifts of color. And so now I'm going to add some pink in as the background. If you've watched any of these, you know that I like to paint some stuff and then I like to add in some background around it. And then I'll go back in to the shape and back to the background. And it's like a play back and forth of what I put down versus what I go back to. It's really fun. It's kind of like a puzzle, and I love puzzles. So that's probably why I like to work this way. So these colors are really bright and fun for summer. I don't typically paint in these bright colors, but it's fun right now. We'll see how long I can stick to bright. Probably not for long. Here's some darker pink just to add some interest. Like I said, I like those color shifts. I use that nail sitting on the table to scratch into my paint like that. And it's just a random nail, like grab one off of a hardware table or grab a box of nails if you don't have any hardware stuff at home. Or ask a neighbor for a nail. They'll be like, "What?" But that's okay. Say you're using it for your art. It's got like the perfect point for scratching into the paint. I've used that one for a while. I thought that the point would wear down after a while, but I guess not because it's a nail. I don't know what they're made out of, but it's very strong and stays very pointy. I'm going back into the palm tree. I like how the background turned out with the different pinks, and so now I want to add some later elements into the leaves. Getting the light colors can be tricky because acrylic paint dries darker. So just be aware of that when you're trying to get a lighter value into your painting. This is a Stabilo Woody pencil. It's kind of a mix between a pencil and a colored pencil and a crayon because they're really big, but I do like to use those because they're kind of creamy. And this is a gelato, also very creamy and fun. You can just see how it adds an extra little detail because they're textured and a little bit of extra color. This is a Neocolor crayon and it adds in just some more darker values. This is another gelato. And another Stabilo Woody pencil. And so I am using a lot of different things here because I just went through my mark making supplies and pulled out everything that matched the color palette for this week. But you do not have to have all of these things. I do have them listed in a supply list below if something strikes your interest and you want to try it, but don't feel like you have to buy everything that I have used to make this painting. You can use whatever you have around your house. And if you have certain mark making supplies that I am not using, please let me know because I like to try different things and experiment with new products. I have about 2 minutes left to go. I'm going to try out this acrylic ink on the top to add in extra dark value and structure to the palm tree. It's still very abstract, but I think you can tell what it is. I'm just going to go around each leaf and add some marks into the trunk. See if I can get the hint of palm tree trunk. You know, they have like that crisscross texture. And I only have about a minute left to go, so I need to finish up here. Here's my jelly roll pen again. Let's see if my paint is dry enough to get any marks on here. A little bit, some areas. I try to paint pretty thin on these because I know I need to layer other things on top. So there's some areas where I got a little bit of extra marks in there with this pen. Just remember if you've dragged it through some wet paint, wipe your tip off with your fingers because it's gonna get clogged in there. All right, less than 30 seconds. Let's see. I'll add in a little bit more hints of pink, like that sky is coming through the leaves. And that's probably gonna be about it. Okay, time's up. Just in time. I hope you liked that one. Let me know if you try it in the comments below. And definitely join us for Let's Get Moody every week. You can sign up to get the inspiration straight to your inbox by looking at the link in the description. I will see you next week.